Probably the biggest thing you would always hear from everybody was, so Bedford, who was the oldest, was gregarious. He probably was a scrapper. He famously lost rank in the army probably more than once, just because he wasn't a rule follower. And then Raymond was the quiet one, thoughtful, 6 years younger, I think, than his brother. So, you know, hardworking folks like everybody else during that time, during the Depression, and, you know, went off on a great adventure. And unfortunately, like everybody else, so many people at that time, the adventure didn't have a happy ending. As I've said, you know, you can look at D-Day and think, what an awful loss of life. But, you know, it was really the ice pick, starting that first little chip away at the Great Wall. And it was really the beginning of the end. It took a while, but, you know, there was not one life lost that was in vain. It was really part of the greater good for ending that war. You know, it's always you hear about the fog of war and everything else. And I've never seen the opening scenes for Saving Private Ryan. I've heard from the survivors that they're the most accurate representation. I think for both of them, it was instant. You know, with Raymond, his body was never recovered. So it was washed out in the channel, which has always been the suspicion, or unidentified and is buried somewhere, we don't know. You know, I think for my mother, the biggest question was she always worried that Raymond had been wounded and lay on the beach, and then the tide came in and washed him out. I think it's pretty clear now that he died instantly, so that was not suffering on his part. Because if you've ever been to Omaha Beach, it's a pretty huge change from low tide to high tide, so it kind of overwhelms a lot.